Okay, this is The Truth About the Neutron Bomb. The Inventor of the Bomb Speaks Out by Sam Cohen. And I'm going to keep this one fairly brief and to the point. Um, this is basically exactly what the title says. This is Sam Cohen, who allegedly was part of the neutron bomb program, writing about its use in combat. And of course, one of the debates over the neutron bomb, and those for the uninitiated, the neutron bomb, the concept of that was that you could have a nuclear weapon that would kill everything but leave the infrastructure intact and have minimal fallout, so that you could have an invading army zap this place, so to speak, and then move in and take over the infrastructure. And one of the major moral debates about this was the idea that if you can do that, and if you can actually accomplish that feat, then that actually makes nuclear war more attractive to psychopathic leaders. Because if you can just go in and zap an area, kill all the people, and then take it over, then you've now made nuclear war, again, to unhinged leadership. You've made it an attractive possibility and something that does seem winnable. For this audience, I thought you guys might appreciate this particular aside that he discusses here. I found this to be especially kind of disturbing and interesting and all at the same time. So on page 139, he has this discussion about the victims of a neutron bomb. And he talks about how personnel in armored vehicles might not be, they would be mortally wounded, most likely mortally wounded by this, but they wouldn't be instantly killed like the infantry soldiers around them. So this is where it gets really dark and weird. He says that presents a problem, because these guys could be demoralized and realize they're mortally wounded and just give up and die. Or, he says, the other option is they could actually become even more fortified by this and realize, well, I have nothing to live for, so I may as well fight to the death, because now I'm mortally radiated, so I may as well just take everyone. And he refers to those guys as kind of like zombies, that it could actually have the potential of creating something on the order of a killer zombie army, that you have these people who've been zapped and are now mortally wounded and don't really care what they do at that point, and would wreak terrible destruction as they, exited the planet. So that's a really interesting conversation. Just that alone is worth having the book around just to read his thoughts on that. But that is an actual discussion taking place in high places of power, that, gee, you could have these nuclear weapons that go off and basically create this zombie horde that doesn't care anymore. And then what's that going to do? So I found that to be a really interesting discussion. But neutron bombs are another one of those things that, again, it's almost from a weapons perspective, the scary thing about this is it's almost too good to be true from the perspective of people who design things that kill people. The idea that you could have this terrible destructive force but very little consequence, which, again, this is a psychopath's dream, to be able to wipe out a city and then just take over the infrastructure with little to no resistance. So the tone of this is, Mr. Cohen really, when you read this, he comes off as somebody who you would not want. The idea that this guy was designing weapons of mass destruction is not encouraging at all. He does not seem like the most grounded individual. But interesting reading nonetheless. If you are into investigating atomic weapons and that sort of thing, this is a fascinating read like I said, if for no other reason than that discussion alone about the idea of you creating this kind of zombie army as a side effect of armored vehicles and neutron bombs. So anyway, like I said, I'll keep it fairly short. And this was published in, let's see, this was 1983. So The Truth About the Neutron Bomb by Sam Cohen, the inventor of the bomb, speaks out, and indeed he does.